there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I have today. Times gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. Let's get on into it. This is 1100 WSGI. How you doing? Happy November. Yes, it's November. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. Are you getting ready for Thanksgiving now? Are you getting your Christmas decorations out? I know people who do that. It's like the minute November hits, they're like down with all the Halloween stuff and they're throwing up the Christmas decorations. Yeah, I'm not that person. But I am already thinking about Thanksgiving and what we have coming up because I do the cooking now. Or I do the turkey. I can't say I do the cooking, but I do the turkey and the dressing for my family. Oh, I'm U-Turn Laverne. How you doing? This is One Street Over, and again, this is 1100 WSGI. So much going on. So many things always in my head as we approach the morning. I've got a couple of elusive guests coming on today. I've got Ed Cope coming on in here in a minute, and he's one of them that I keep seeing out in just in public, and we say, I got to get you on the show. And inevitably, I've reached out, I know, a couple of times, and his schedule's been terrible. And so then I forget to call him. And then his wife, she kept reaching out to me. Thank you so much. And so we've got him on the schedule this morning. It's so funny. And that we've been communicating via Messenger, Facebook Messenger. And I don't check that all the time. And so I come in and I sit down this morning and they were like, what's the address? So I think he's on his way, but we'll get him on in here in just a minute. And I say the other elusive guest is Jerry Criswell, because Jerry is, of course, the owner of Veterans Motorplex, and he has been one of our sponsors for a while now. And all through this race season, he's been one of our sponsors, and I've reached out to him, no telling how many times, Jerry, you got to come in. You got to come in and get on the show with me. And his schedule has been crazy, and we'll have something planned, and we can't get him in. And so today, Jerry's coming in at 7:30. So that is the plan, to have Ed come in here just any minute, and we're going to talk to him. And then we're going to have Jerry come on in here at 7:30. So we've got a couple of guests on slate to join us this morning that we've had a tough time getting in here. So hopefully Ed will walk on in here in just a minute. And as we're waiting for him to join us, let's talk a little bit about some things going on around town. We finished up. I hope everybody had a wonderful Halloween. I went out and spent some time with my grandkids. It was so much fun. That is it's one of those things that the only reason why I even tolerate Halloween, because I don't like all the and all that stuff. I'm a big old Jesus freak, and I just, as long as you keep it fun and happy and have a good time with your kiddos. Like my grandkids, they were Mario and Princess Peach and Luigi, I think. And I'm one of the few who don't really know that. I know about that. I know I can't even remember, but I know that that's a video game and all of that. Mario, yeah. And so, but it's not something that's real common to me. And so when we were out trick-or-treating, everybody would see my nephew or my grandson, and they'd go, Mario. And so it was quite popular. And I saw another little girl dressed up as Princess Peach, and I've never paid any attention to it. And then, of course, the baby was Luigi. And so we had a lot of fun. And that's what I'm good with Halloween, when we do it that way. But now when we're trying to get all the dark stuff, I don't really like all that. And so whenever they came to me with the Robeson County Players and they said, oh, we're doing Night of the Living Dead for a play, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to talk about that or not. But then I was talking to Thomas about it, and he said, no, we're doing it from the play or the movie that came out in the 60s, which is a sci-fi thing. So it was a science fiction piece that they're doing. And so he said, so, it's okay. So they're bringing out the sci-fi side of it, and so that works. And I'm okay with that. So they're doing the Night of the Living Dead 2 more nights if you want to see it. I'm going to try to get there Thursday night and see if we can't check that out. But that is going to happen at Innovation Academy. I'm sure you're familiar with that. The old middle school, the Springfield Middle School, that is where that's all happening. So if you want to go and see Night of the Living Dead, and again, based on the sci-fi movie that came out in the 60s, you still have a couple of opportunities to do that. And we hope that you will join them for that, because it's such a great thing that what Robeson County Players do. They're just so awesome. They are always doing great plays. They've got a wonderful schedule for next year, but I think this is the final one. This is, I mean, we're late enough in the year. This is it for this year. And then they'll start the season, of course, at the first of the year. And we encourage you just to come out and be a part of that. But that's happening Thursday and Friday night. You can still go and see the play with Robeson County Players, Night of the Living Dead. Tickets are available at the door. I'm not sure. You might still be able to purchase them in advance if you go online to, I think it's RobesonCountyPlayers.org, or it's either .net. But just go and check it out. You can also find them on Facebook, and that is the best way in the world to go and check out the play. So go and see them, and I have to say, give a shout out. We've got some Greenbrier kids from the school, some middle school kids, I think, and several of the high school students. One of them actually is in my homeroom, and Evangeline's in there. And so they're going to be in the play, and we want you to come out and support that. So if you need something to do for Thursday and Friday night, I encourage you to. I'm probably going to be there Thursday night to see it myself, and hope that you can join us over at the Middle School Innovation Academy for Robeson County Players production, Night of the Living Dead, for 2 more nights, 7 o'clock Thursday night, 7 o'clock Friday night. So put that on your calendar and make it. Now, the other big thing that is on the calendar is of course, the Christmas sampler that is happening. And this is going on. This is one of those iconic things that I can't begin to tell you. Has been around. Oh, what did Amy Corbin was in here last week talking about it, and I mean it's been around. I wanted to say since the 70s, but it is a fundraiser for the women's clubs. All the women's clubs get together, and there was about 7 of them that she went through, and this is to pay for the upkeep of the Glenn Memorial Women's Club building. And it is a very, very good organization. They do a ton of great things, all these different women's clubs, and including the Short Story Club and the one for the career women that Amy was telling me about. And she went through a whole litany of the different ones that are included in this, Daughters of the American Revolution, I think, and I forget the different ones, but I think there were 7 of them that used this building. So if you want to support this, and so many do, if you love all the craft fairs and all the Christmas things, if you're ready for Christmas, you're ready to jump in both feet, you're ready to put up your tree and get all the decorations done, then you're going to want to definitely get out and be a part of this. But this is going on this weekend, and this is at this center. They get it all decked out. I was talking with Terry Martin last week about how they transformed the center, and that is a cool space. If you've not been to the center here, just off the downtown square, you need to go by and check it out. And this would be a great opportunity for you to see the space if you haven't seen it yet, because they're going to have 60 plus booths is what they have on the flyer. But I thought Amy said there was more like 80. It's sold out. You can't, as far as the booths, you cannot get a booth there. That's one of those things that you have to really jump out in advance. I remember probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was doing, I was in my caramel candy making days that I was working on candy production, and I thought, well, I'm going to get a booth at the center. Well, no, I couldn't, because I inquired about that in October, and they're like, oh no, that's been sold out since February. If you want to have a booth at the Christmas Sampler, I put the seed in your brain right now. You need to make sure you find it. You go and talk to them. One of the best ways to make sure that you're in the know for this next year is to go to the sampler Friday or Saturday and talk to the ladies that are there that are in charge of putting this whole presentation on. And Amy says you'll find them, they'll be wearing black aprons that will have some kind of a little insignia on them that'll tell you, hey, we're the ones you need to talk to. We can give you all the details about what's happening here, and they can give you more information about being having a booth next year at the sampler. So if you want to be a part of that, again, I cannot stress it enough. You need to get that in your brain right now, because when that comes up, it fills up super fast, and they will not have any space for you. You'll have to get on a waiting list, and you may or may not be able to be a part of that. But if you've never been, a lot of people will go make sure they're in there on Friday, and the hours on Friday are after work, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., because they want to make sure and they get in there and get in the door on Friday, because some of those vendors are so popular that maybe have one or two really popular items that will get snatched up very quickly. And so you got to get on in there. But November 4th, the doors will open at 4. So what happens is you get a $10 ticket on Friday evening, and that will get you in the door Friday and Saturday. So that ticket's good for Friday and Saturday, and that's called the Premier Night ticket for Friday night, but it's good for both days. And then Saturday, the doors will open at 8:30, and they'll be open from 8:30 to 5 p.m., and that ticket is $5. So you can go and check it out. You're going to find these little posters all over town. And they've got their QR code, which is super cute. It's got little Christmas trees on it, and it's all decorated up. I didn't know you could customize QR codes that way, but they're adorable. And you can click on the QR code, and that will take you into whatever you need to know as far as everything that's happening with the Christmas Sampler. So, again, this is One Street Over. I'm Utah Laverne, and we are waiting on a couple of guests this morning. And, I say they're elusive guests, and I'm hoping they're going to make it. It's so funny because I checked my Facebook Messenger this morning and said, hey, yeah, Ed's going to be there in the morning. He just needs to know the address. Well, I didn't see that until about 2 minutes before I went on the air. And so I reached out to him, and she said, no worry, that somebody else had given him the directions, but maybe not, because he's not here yet. So we're waiting on Ed Cope from Cope and Associates to come on in here. And that's a guy, it's hysterical, because I've been to so many events. They're there and they're busy, and he'll do some auctioneering or something like that, and just very active and very busy. Okay, and so they're telling me he knew to be there, but they're not really sure where he is, so I have no idea. But Ed Cope is supposed to be on the air with me this morning from 7 to 7:30. Have not seen him, so oh well, it may just be me and you, and that's okay, because we can talk about some of the things going on around the community and some of the things that are getting ready to happen. The big thing, we have got a lot of things happening with Willow Oak as well. We've got the Christmas choir that's coming up, and I'll find out what the date is on that. Let me see if I can go and find out real quick, and we can just kind of talk about your holiday calendar real fast as we're waiting on our guest to get here, because we've got, again, Ed that's supposed to be on in here, and we've also got Jerry Criswell that's coming in, that's going to be joining us at 7:30 with Veterans Motorplex, and hoping both of them come on in here. When I run out of stuff to talk about that are local events, we can get some Jesus on you, and we can talk about all the Bible stuff going on in my head, which there's a lot. I'll just kind of touch on that real quick as I'm waiting on everybody. This is November, right? We just started November, and this is the month of Thanksgiving. And I loved what Gwen Harder said on Friday. I have talked a few times about how that when we get into this holiday season, of course, the minute we hit the fall festivals and Halloween, it's just like a snowball rolling downhill from here on out through the holiday season, because it just comes like this. It just comes so quick. So we're all thinking about Thanksgiving, and those of us who cook and prepare for our families, that's where our mind is right now. We're like, oh, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I talk with my mother every morning as I drive to work, and she's cleaning this and doing that and got somebody coming to help for this, and that's all that's on her mind till we get through Thanksgiving. That's really, truly her favorite holiday. She loves getting the family together and seeing everybody, and we got a passel of people, just a whole bunch of folks that are coming to my mother's for Thanksgiving this year. And so we're already planning that. So I've already bought turkey. I bought two because I couldn't find a 22-pounder, so I bought 2 15s. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of turkey. But so I'm already getting my list together and getting the things I need to make sure that I can cook my Thanksgiving dinner. So that's where my mind is. But before we get into that, Ed, come on in here. Ed, come on. He just walked in the door. Get on in here. Before we get on into that, I want to remind you, let me finish my thought, Ed, and then we'll jump on into you being on in here. Come on in and sit down. But I want to finish the thought of this is November. This is the month of Thanksgiving. So don't get so caught up in your preparation and your thoughts about what you're going to do for Thanksgiving that you forget to be thankful. And Gwen challenged people on Friday. She said, in your prayer life this month, why, instead of asking God for something, you just make it all about Thanksgiving, because he knows what we need. And I love that. And that's a really interesting challenge as we start this season of this trilogy, Thanksgiving, of being thankful, sliding on into Christmas, of recognizing the gift we have through our Savior Jesus Christ, and then into that renewal of the new year. That holiday trilogy begins today, y'all. So get ready for it. Ed, what is up, my friend? Pull that microphone to you, brother. You know how them things work.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
It is good to see you too. And I said I've got two very elusive guests coming on today, because this is a conversation that I've had with you and your wife a few times when I would be out. I gotta get on the show. And I have called a couple of times, but you're so busy, and then I'll forget to follow back up. And so, bless your wife, she just absolutely has stayed on it. Missy has stayed on it this time, and she reached out to me last week. When are we going to get Ed on? Because we had tried to last week, and you were just slammed.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how about Tuesday? We're there. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, thank you so much for letting me come in.
Anytime, truly. That's why I tell everybody, just call me and let me know you're coming, and if I've got an open slot, come on, because people get tired of hearing me rattle on.
I can't imagine that.
Oh, no. I
can't
imagine. I can go down deep wells very fast. And so it's always fun. So tell everybody what you do, because they see your signs around town. Mm-hmm. They see Cope and Associates and all of that. What do you do? I know, but you tell them.
We're in the real estate and auction business. We also do some property management. I truly love what I do. Mm-hmm. Being able to help someone with purchase a home, with selling their home, whether it be through listing it with a for sale sign or by doing an auction.
Okay.
There's all kinds of different options, and everybody is different, and a lot of times what you need may be different from the next person. You may be in a situation where, say, Uncle Joe passed away, and he has left you his farm and all of his equipment and all of his things. Well, you've already got all of your things. You don't need more things. So what do you do with all that? Mm-hmm. You call us in, and we help you take care of that.
Well, and so, that's one of the things, as you mentioned that, all the things. My mom right now, okay, she is 83 years old, and we come from a farm family, and my brother is there, and so he's the farmer.
Yeah.
And so that's not the equipment and the farm and everything's Ben's. So, but she has so much stuff, and she's already saying, "Do y'all want this? Do you want this? Do you want this?" And the idea has been said, you could have you don't have to pass away to have an auction.
That's right.
You can downsize once you realize that. Okay, my kids don't want this stuff. Maybe I do want to have an auction. Do you do that sometimes?
We do.
My mother's not there yet. She'll be like, "Get out of here, leave me alone." But it poses the question, and you do see that happen sometimes.
You do. And what we find is that we can help them with the sale of the real estate, the land, the personal property, the equipment, and whatever. And oftentimes people are amazed at the value that something will have. When you put everybody in the front yard at the same time,
yeah.
and you start that atmosphere of competition. You and your family, you want it. You want that house because it's close to your mother-in-law. It's close to the church.
Yeah.
It's close to the store. It's close to work, and it just fits.
Yeah.
But then the other couple over here, they also want it. So
Yeah.
if you're willing to go to 200, when we get there, you're at 200, and I'll say now 205. And they think, well, 5,000 is not going to change life that much, and they're at 205, and I come back to you 210. You think, well, 10,000 is not really going to change our world. And, the next thing you know, the property has brought $225,000, $250,000 because it does work for you. But you're no different than me and everyone else. If you can get a good deal, you want it, and I want to see you get it. But at the same time, if it's a glove that fits your hand perfectly, I'd give another $1 for it.
Yeah.
And you would too.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We put the property out there. We put the personal property, real estate, we put it out there, and it brings all it's worth that day.
It's so funny that you mentioned the competition, because whenever my grandparents passed away, and I only knew one set on my mother's side, and Mama and Papa, but the family came in, and I guess they were able to select maybe one thing, and then the rest of it was on the auction block. And so whoever, if you wanted Mama's little lantern, you had to buy it from your siblings.
Exactly. I used to think that was somewhat cold-hearted, but I
Well,
don't anymore.
yeah.
Now, because if there are 5 or 6 children or heirs to the estate, everybody, if they say everything is to be sold at auction,
Yeah.
then it's put up. Because if you get to choose first, well, you get the shotgun of granddaddy's that we've all always wanted.
Yeah.
Well, then I get to choose second, so I get a biscuit bowl or something.
Yeah.
And I think, well,
Yeah.
that wasn't really fair. But if you put it up at auction, then it's worth whatever I'm willing to give.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's a more fair thing. And you're only going to have an opportunity to sell a piece of real estate once. You can't say, well, we'll sell it today, and then next year maybe we'll resell it. No, you get one shot at it. So it needs to bring all it's worth that one time, whether it's personal property or real estate. And that's what we have an opportunity to help people with. And plus, too, there's a lot of stress. You're dealing with the emotion of the loss of this loved one. To have to go through everything, we help with that. We help you go through it. We help you see what you've got and tell you you're better off to put a for sale sign in the front yard, or you're better off to put an auction sign in the front yard, whatever it may be. That's what I love about our business, is that we're not just a real estate company. We're a real estate and auction company. We're not just an auction company. We can help you with whichever way you want to go and whatever fits you best.
I got a couple of things, and then another thought I want to have. We're talking about this because when the auction happened, and this has been years ago, there was a rocking chair, little tiny child's rocker, that my mother thought it was given to, said this was given to her. Her sister says, well, no, it was given to both of us, and so I knew that I was going to have to compete for it, and I saved so much money. That I didn't get it. My aunt got it. $500.
Yes,
This
yes.
little, and that's been 20 years ago, y'all.
Yeah.
Tiny little rocker, and and it was fair. It was fair, and I mean, I hated I didn't get it, but it was like, okay, I saved what I could, and that's all I could do.
Yeah.
And so I ended up buying something else with my money that I had saved.
Yeah.
And it's okay, it's just stuff. But in the bottom line, but that's how we did it, and everybody came away okay.
Yeah.
And it just was what it was. But I'll never forget that.
Well, and the other thing about that is if there are, say, four brothers and sisters that are all inheriting whatever the value of that is, if it brings 5 times what it's worth, well, that's more that the other 4 get for it. So, and you're only having to buy your portion of it, a fourth of it or a fifth of it, whatever part there is. So you really got it for a fifth of that.
Well, there were 6.
That's
there
right.
were 6 siblings, and they were all alive and all there vying for their little treasures. And oh my goodness! But it's a lot of fun. But something you mentioned about the auction side of it. So let's say that I'm the sole heir and I need to do this, and I don't know anything about it. Can I just call you and y'all even organize it?
We do it all.
Okay, so I don't even have to touch it.
No, I have actually had people that would send us keys to a property and say, we live in another part of the country, we've inherited this property, we don't have the time to come back and deal with it, just take care of it. We get the keys, we go out and we unlock the property, we go through it, we see what we've got to deal with, we market it, we organize it, we get it all done. They either come in for a closing or we send the papers to wherever they're at and they can sign remotely and they don't have to do a thing. And another situation we run into oftentimes, if you inherit a piece of property or you're wanting to sell a piece of property, well, the neighbor on one side, they're just dear friends. And the neighbor on the other side, they're close friends too, and they both want it. So which one are you going to allow to buy it?
Yeah.
That's could not be fair in some ways because they're both good friends, and the guy in the back behind it, he also would like to purchase it. So the best thing to do is just have an auction.
Yeah.
And that way you're not favoring one or the other.
Yeah.
And you're being fair to everyone. And there again, creating that atmosphere of competition, but in fairness to all the people involved that want it. And so that's really, we're used to, I thought an auction maybe was a little bit cold-hearted to see someone's life put on the auction block and sold off in a few minutes. It's really the most fair thing to do and the best thing for everybody involved.
Well, and two, now you get into, and I know this comes up in auctions that I've been a part of, where they're like, well, you guys have more money than we do, and you have more means. Well, I was, I had young kids, and it was whatever I could manage. I had probably a month to prepare to see how much I could pull together to go after that rocker, and it was, I never dreamed I wouldn't get it for what I was willing to pay for it, but oh well, it happened. And, so you just, that's the thing. And so you have that emotion in it too. So it can be very emotional.
It can.
And it's so funny. As I sit here and think about this, as we were all caught up in trying to get the rocker, we accidentally let some of those cat paw pictures go to a collector.
Yeah.
And it was all like, oh, I wish we hadn't done that. It was so funny because later on, probably 10, 15 years later, he had an auction, and we were able to get them back.
Bought them
it's
back.
just so funny. It's just so funny. Well, and then there was the farm bale, the bale that was on the farm that one of my aunts ended up with. And when she passed away, at her auction, her kids allowed my family to purchase it because we're the only ones that still have acreage that farm. And they thought, we would like for it to stay in the family, though, it, just kind of that way. So they stepped back and said, go for it.
Right.
And so they were able to get it. And so the farm bale that was originally on the farm up in Farmington is now on the farm in Bowes, just all in Graves County, but it's still in the same county. So it's just kind of fun to watch the journey. I know I see that back in West Kentucky, and I'm sure there's stories like that here. There's got to be.
Oh,
are you from here?
I am.
Okay.
I've lived here all my life. I've
Okay.
lived in Robertson County all but 6 months of my entire life.
Oh, wow.
And I years ago, I thought, I'm going to move. I moved down to Davidson County. And after my 6-month lease was up on my apartment, I was headed back this way as hard as I could go.
I get it. Because, I got to this area in 83, 83, and have spent, lived in Nashville for a long time. Could not wait to get back in the county, what I knew. So we bought the property, Lloyd Kiteso property, in 92, and we've been here ever since. And this is just so similar to what I grew up with. I felt like I was coming home.
Right.
And so it's just a perfect fit for me. I don't like living in the city.
Well,
this is home.
This is home. We see it changing, and I know this is going to sound crazy. If I could snap my fingers and have anything I wanted we would never see any more growth at all. You know, I just love it as
Yeah.
it has always been. Mm-hmm. But growth is inevitable.
Yes,
and
it is.
it's going to happen. So we just need to embrace it and make sure we do it in a positive way. And that's one of the things that I enjoy about what I do. Oftentimes someone will call and say, I've got a farm that we want to sell. How can we market this for the most that it could possibly be? You know, if you sell a piece of property, you sell it, you divide it up in a way that's respectful to the property, not do something where you're stacking houses behind houses behind houses to where the only view you have is the back of someone else's house. There's ways you can do it to where that doesn't happen. And you can build it in with restrictions so that the houses that are built are things that complement the community. And so the growth is coming. We just need to channel it and direct it in the right way.
Absolutely. And I too, we're talking with Ed Cope of Cope and Associates, and you just see him all over town because he's a local. And I probably could spend an entire hour with you. We do have Jerry Criswell that's coming in here. It's supposed to be. He's another one that's very elusive. Hard to get him in here. So he should come popping in here in a minute, but we certainly want to continue talking until he does. I thank you so much because you're there when there's charitable things going on. I will go to events and Ed's going to auction something off, and I'm sure you're just doing that out of the kindness of your heart, and that you're just there all the time. Thank you for that, because I mean the community needs that.
Well, I enjoy it, and I appreciate the opportunity. We'll be in Montana doing an auction for Hope Center Ministries next week.
Nice.
And you know, they were kind enough to allow us to help them with their auctions here in this area. And we were out there last year at one of their centers doing a fundraiser auction, and they asked us to come back again this year. And so we'll be leaving and going out there next week to a fundraiser. And I love being able to give back to the community and the people that have done so much for us.
That is amazing. I didn't realize. So are you involved, I guess, with local Hope Center?
I am.
Okay,
I am.
wonderful.
You know, they, you know, I probably have more fun at the auction than anybody there. Nobody has as much fun as me because I'm a big cut up and I love to pick at you. If I could mess with you and pick at you in a fun way, I would do it. And to be up there on the mic and to see what's going on out there in the crowd, it's just so much fun.
I bet.
It
I
is.
bet. Well, because it's always like you'll have spouses sitting there, and one of them will start bidding, and the other one's like doing this, and so quit it. Because I mean, that's me and my husband. Oh, he loves going to auctions, and when we first married, we would go quite often because he was running we had a roofing company for 20 years, and he would oftentimes buy tools. I mean, we'd get great deals on stuff, and he'd just get carried away. I'm like, you've got 10 of those. You don't need 11, you know, and he's like, well, they lose them all the time, you know, the crew, you know, and so it was constant. And I've gotten to a point though that I shy away from auctions because it's so hard to not bid on stuff. You're like, I can't believe that's going for that, and I've got too much stuff. I need to call you and say, hey, can you help me auction some stuff off? I need to downsize.
We can do that. But you know, the auction, something you probably don't know about me, I did not start out to be an auctioneer.
Okay.
I was in the real estate business.
Okay.
And I've never been a drinker, never been a smoker, never wanted anything like that to control me. But the fear of being in front of people, it owned me. I was petrified. I mean, just terrified of being in front of a crowd. I was fearful you might ask me to pray in public, or fearful that you might have asked me to get up and read something in public. Just the thoughts of that would make my palms sweat. So I decided that I wanted to get beyond that. And so I decided the scariest thing I could think of was to get up in front of a crowd and have to chant and to talk really fast. So I decided to go to auctioneer school. I was going to go to auctioneer school, and I was going to learn how to do that. Now, I don't intend to ever use it, but I'm going to go and do it once or twice just to get beyond this fear. So you go to school, and you learn how to chant, and you learn how to do all the different things. And then you start. I had always worked the crowd at different auctions when we used to own the livestock market up in Cross Plains. Okay. I would always be the one catching bids and working the ring. And so I started working the ring for other auction companies. And then the first thing you know, somebody will get pulled away and he's like, Ed, would you take the mic for a moment? And at that moment, you either have to run backwards or grab it and go.
I love it.
And so when that opportunity came, I grabbed it and went with it. And I thought, nobody will realize how scared I am of doing this And, the fear just left. And I just jumped up there and done it. And we've been so blessed. I've had the opportunity to be at the governor's mansion a couple of different times, doing charity auctions there. Like I said, being called out to other places to do all the different things. And I truly have more fun than anybody else. And I just am thankful for that opportunity.
So tell me, what does it take to go to auctioneer school?
Well,
Where is it? Because I have a friend.
Yeah.
You know Sylvia Biggs?
yeah.
Okay, she's been to auctioneer school.
Yeah.
And when she told me that, I'm like, what? I just love her. She's a dear friend. And I had no idea that she'd been to auctioneer school.
Yeah, yeah.
And whenever I was an FFA.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was the public speaker. Public speaking has never been a problem for me. I feel my heart goes out to people who say they've struggled with it because I've just always been full of it. And so it's never been a thing for me to get up in front of people. And so I was the public speaker rep and did the impromptu and all that for FFA. I wanted to be the auctioneer.
Yeah.
But do you know the Wilkersons in Western Kentucky, Wilkerson Auctioneer
I do.
Company? Well, that's a big auctioneer company in West Kentucky. Well, Jack Wilkerson was the local auctioneer like you. His son Greg was one of my classmates, and so he got to do it because his daddy was an auctioneer, and I wanted to be the auctioneer.
Yeah.
And I never really shared that because I was busy doing other things, but I always wanted to be an auctioneer. And Sylvia's like, "Well, you should go do it," and I don't have time. But what does it take? I'm just curious.
It's really not as difficult as what you could. What
Okay.
you would think.
Okay.
You start out by saying tongue twisters. You start out just by reading. The entire class
okay.
will get up and read tongue twisters. The only reason that you don't do it now is because your fear of messing it up.
Yeah.
You're not going to mess it up. Most of the time, I don't even know what I'm saying between my numbers. Because when I'm up there on the stage, I'm looking at eyes. And if your eyes are on me, you're interested in what I'm saying, and you're potentially going to be a bidder. So
Okay.
I come to the point to where I'm at 40, now 5. What do you get 45? I'm at 40 here. What do you get 45? Now 50 hand 5. What do you get 55? And I don't even really know what I'm saying in between. It just becomes an automatic thing.
Yeah.
No different than you rubbing your eye or something. You don't think about how high to raise your hand or how hard to press. And you do those things subconsciously, and so does the speaking. But to learn how to do it, you'll start out by practicing with tongue twisters, something like Tommy, I tied him a stick 2 T's and tied him to the top of 2 tall trees and rough and ragged rascal, round and round the rugged rock, so it's better. We do all these different tongue twisters. And then you'll get into something that's a little more challenging, like Betty bought her boss some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it would make my batter bitter. So she bought a better butter, put it in her better batter, made her better. So does better. Betty bought her better butter. So you just keep saying these things over and over again until you become comfortable with the fact that you're not going to mess it up. And when you do that, the next thing is learning how to count. And you just start out with something simple like 5. Everybody can count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So when you're up there on the stage, you're going to say, all right, we're selling this microphone. You start me out. What do you give? What do you get? $5. Now 10, but you got 10. I'm at 5. What do you get? 10, 10, 15 down, 20 down, 30 down, 40. What do you get? 40. And you don't really think too much about it. When you think about it, you'll mess it up.
I love it.
When you just relax and let it go. And anybody can do it.
That's funny.
Anybody can.
Okay, so I'm gonna just sit this seed in your brain. I don't know if you know, I'm a full-time teacher now. I'm teaching at Greenbrier High School. They recruited me to be the audio-video production teacher.
Okay.
And I found out last week from Dr. Chris Causey, they've had this in their mind for a couple of years and did not tell me until this summer. And because I had thought about going into teaching, and he just, I don't know how this all happened, but here you go.
Yeah.
So, well, one of the classes they've got me teaching next semester is business communications and speaking. Oh, you need to come in and we need to do this. And because that's one thing in the audio video part of it, we have interviews we have to do. And so I have the students try out. I have them get up and read copy out loud. And I tell them, I said, that's something because my degree is in communications with an emphasis in broadcasting. And one of the things that we did in one of my classes, we would have to stand up and read out loud, and we would do tongue twisters. And not to that degree. I want you to write those down and send them to me because those are fabulous. But and not quite that fast, but to make sure we're enunciating everything very clearly. And so tongue twisters and reading out loud is just a practice that if you really want to overcome a fear of public speaking, if you want to get
Correct.
good at it, you cannot do that enough. You just can't do
You're
it
right.
enough. And I love that that's a practice in auctioneering too, is the tongue twisters. Because
It is.
you need to come talk to my class. Would you do
Be
that?
glad to. I'd be glad to.
Awesome.
Just
awesome.
let me know when.
Well, it'll be after the first of the year, because that's when and I'd love to bring you into the audio video side of it, but we're working on documentaries, and we're going to be slammed our schedule now
Yeah.
through the end of the semester. But that broadcast, that business communications class, that's perfect, because that could open a door for some of these students to say, I might want to do that. And that's fun. I'm talking with Ed Cope of Cope and Associates. I need to go ahead and do some ads. Jerry Criswell, this is so funny, because Jerry's one, I can't get him in here, and I've messaged him yesterday. You come in at 7:30 and you see he's not here. So, or maybe he is here. I don't know if he's out there or not.
I believe he's here.
Jerry, are you here? Oh, buddy. Well, okay, I didn't know that. I tell you what. Well, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and say bye, and I'll do an ad and bring him on in. The door's open anytime. Would love to have you. Anything that we're missing that you want to share?
No, the secret to my success is not my talent or anything, but God is blessed.
Amen.
And I'm so thankful for that.
And I love that you're involved with Hope Center. That's a great place too. So, how can they get in touch with you if they need your services?
615-384-7500.
Do that number twice.
It's 615-384-7500.
I love
Give
it.
us a call.
Thank you so much. I'll
Thanks
be
for
in
having me.
touch. Thank you, Missy, for getting you in here.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless you. And I'll let y'all make the switch. We'll bring Jerry on in here. Jerry Criswell is coming in next. He is with Veterans Motorplex. Going to talk about, they got some big stuff happening this weekend. But I got to talk about Cumberland Connect. Caitlin sent me some new notes last night about Cumberland Connect. They have got all kinds of things happening at Cumberland Connect. Bottom line is, if you want to find out if Cumberland Connect is for you, if you're a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access to Cumberland Connect, and I'm so excited about it. They're on my road. I went the other day and I saw them setting up one of the houses, but we're talking internet speeds up to 1,000 megabits per second. That's a gig. No data caps. They're not going to throttle your speed. This is fiber-delivered internet and phone services for homes and business. Go and talk to them. If you want to find out exactly what you need for your business, go and talk to them. They've got a state-of-the-art, gig-capable router that is included with the internet service at no extra charge, 24/7, 365 days a year, technical support that is available to you. And if you want to find out more, go to www.cumberlandconnect.org/workshops to find out all the different things that are going on about, if you want to learn about more happening with Cumberland Connect and how they're coming to your neighborhood, get information, put in your zip code, and find out when they're going to be in your neighborhood. I mean, it's going to be $80 for me to get a gig, guys. That's incredible. I've been paying $65 to AT&T for terrible service for a long time, and I mean, pitiful service. I cannot wait to get Cumberland Connect at my house so I can do my work. Right now, I had a photo shoot last week. I've got 2 pictures I need to deliver to my customer that I can't upload from my house. I cannot do it. I've got to do some editing work on them. And then once I get them done, I've got to be somewhere that I can take and upload them. I have to come to the radio station and do my work. It's crazy because I have terrible internet. But go and talk to them today. Cumberland Connect, cumberlandconnect.org is where you can go and talk to them about all that's happening. It's locally owned. And if you're a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access. And you can get in touch with them until you turn Cincha. Jerry, that time you got in here. Oh, my friend. How you doing? Jerry Criswell from
How you doing?
Veterans Motorplex, one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. Appreciate you, brother. You're about to wrap up your season now.
Yeah, we're down to our last 2 weeks. We're actually coming into our championship weeks.
Okay.
And so we'll be crowning our champions in the next 2 weeks.
So exciting.
Yeah, and you know, you're talking about that Cumberland Connect. We switched over to that, and then it's an awesome service.
Isn't it great? I'm so
really
excited about it.
is,
I can't
and,
wait.
We had terrible service, and made a lot of difference for us.
Made a lot of difference. And you're making a lot of difference in the community. I was talking to Ed about all he does just to serve the community. You're the same way. You do so many things to help the community. We just love you, brother.
Wow, we appreciate that. That's we blessed from the Lord above. That's for sure.
Okay,
And,
but go ahead.
Like I said, we just been blessed to do what we do. We do a lot of charity stuff. Since I've seen you last, I've had another grandchild.
Oh, congratulations.
And thank you. And He is, about 3 or 4 years ago, we started supporting Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee, and lo and behold, my last grandchild has Down syndrome.
Oh, wow.
And so he's just a wonderful child, and we're looking to see how that works out, and what we can do to continue to help those folks.
You bet. And we've talked about the different things that you've done out the tracks. And I have discovered the best way to stay up to date with you is to go to your Facebook page, because you guys are great about putting that up there. And that's how I stay up to date about everything going on. That's also how I found out that y'all canceled this past weekend.
Right.
And you're getting ready to have your events this coming Saturday, and it's 2 hours earlier because of nightfall.
Exactly.
And are you still doing your trunk or treat out of the...
We're actually going to do a belated trunk or treat
I
this
love
week.
it. Out of race cars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun.
Yeah, and we'll have probably in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 race cars there, and those
So
guys
much
get
fun.
they get a thrill out of seeing the kids come out on the track.
Oh my
Kids
gosh.
actually get to come out on the track and get the candy, and then something else we're working towards since we've owned the track since 2012. Everything really for the last 20, 30 years has been just solid racing. And November 12th, we're having a big demo derby, a night of destruction, sort of. But we got 2 demo derbies. We got, this week we got like 7 big features, and we're starting early. And so we can get out of there a little earlier, and then we're going to have a big blowout event, a big extravaganza on November 12th.
Okay.
And so we're going to have 2 demo derbies and I believe it's either 9 or 11 feature events. So it's going to be a day of racing starting at 4 o'clock. Figure the demo derbies will probably get started around 8:30, somewhere in there. So if you like demo derbies and you hadn't seen one lately, you're going to see some good ones.
For the next 2 weeks.
Well, the demo
Oh, the
derbies
demo
are just...
derbies are going to be on the 12th.
Demo derbies are on the 12th.
Okay.
On the 12th. But
Okay.
for the next 2 weeks, we'll be crowning our champions.
Right. And then when is so for the kiddos that didn't get enough candy and need that, I honestly, trunk or treat out of race cars, come on, that is just awesome. A couple of questions come to mind though. Number one, what time do you expect that they've got to be there if they want to be a part of that?
They need to be there at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Because this year, what we're going to do is, since we've another week later, we're going to, instead of having it at intermission, we're going to have it right at the start of the event. And then sometimes when you change times, we normally start at 6 o'clock, and then we're going to start at 4, starting in November. And sometimes when you change, some people don't get the message, and so that gives them. It usually takes us about an hour to do the trunk or treat, and get the kids fired up and off of the track.
Sure.
But so they need to be right at 4.
Okay.
Where it's going to be the first thing that we do.
Okay, I just think that's just a great idea and so much fun. So 4 o'clock, put the costumes on one more time and get out there and trunk or treat in race cars. Here's the question though: Do you have trunks in race cars? Do the trunks open? How's that going to work?
In some of the cars they do.
They
Actually,
do they?
yeah,
Okay.
they really do. Yeah.
So who was it asking me that yesterday? We were talking about that. Oh, it was Senator Kerry Roberts, because I was talking about it.
Right.
And he goes, "Do they have trunks? I would think they would be welded shut." And I said, "I don't know. That's a question for Jerry."
Most of them open.
Okay,
Most
very
of them
good.
open, even in your late models and that type of deal. You do have a few divisions that they don't open, but most all of ours open.
Very good. And so that's going to be just so much fun. So come out, and so then the racing ideally is going to get going at 5.
Yeah, the racing will probably start around 5. We're going to let the kiddos have their fun.
Yeah.
And the racers, they like I said, they just love to. That's what they're our local heroes.
Yeah.
And these kids are their neighbors and so forth. So they get to feel like the hero and give out the candy and give out the autographs, and the kids just have a blast, and the racers have just as much fun.
I have a couple of students at Greenbrier where I'm teaching now that have like cousins or something, and I'm down at the racetrack all the time, Miss Vivio, and always talking about the racetrack. And then Caleb Stratton, who is our I forget his title now, but Wildlife Resources. He's like a sergeant or something now. I forget. He's going to just roll his eyes when he hears this. But he's got a cousin or a friend, so he's out on the track all the time as well. So he's following it a lot. So that's great.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were teaching down at Greenbrier. That's we're actually for next year we're looking to hire some students to do mascots. To come up and be a mascot on Saturday night and to entertain the children and so forth. So, keep your eyes open for someone that may be interested in doing that. And that's, that's sort of a way to get out in the open a little bit as what you were kind of saying earlier, about somebody being afraid of public speaking. So, it's not a lot of speaking, but a lot of acting,
Yeah. I've got the perfect person. I've got the perfect person. Now, he's a little dude, so he'd have to be a little costume.
Yeah.
You're talking about dressing him up.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got the perfect person for you, and you might even know him. I better not say it on the air, but I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But I know exactly who needs to do it because he's a character, and he's a handful, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about right now. He says to me the other day, "Well, Miss Vivian, I'm just so ADD," and I'm like, "Dude, so am I, but you're gonna have to behave."
Me too. That's I went along in life for a long time thinking I was the best multitasker there ever was.
Me too, brother. Me too. I'll tell you, let's pause and let me take a real quick break. Talking with Jerry Criswell. He is with Veterans Motorplex. I tell people the best way to stay up to date on social media, Facebook, but they need to. When you go to look for them, look at Highland Rim because y'all kept that page because they had thousands of followers. It'd be silly for you to start a new page when you had all that following already. But the banner up there says very clearly Veterans Motorplex, and Jesus is Lord. I love that.
Yeah.
Right there on your banner.
Yeah.
So we know you're one of us.
That's it.
And I love it. You give God the glory for it all. I'm going to talk for a moment, though, about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. My friend Amy Corbin, again, she was in last week talking she's all about Christmas Sampler right now. She wants y'all to know about it. She's part of the Women's Club and part of the folks that bring you that. So please, please, please get out and support the Christmas Sampler. That is happening Friday and Saturday this week. You can get a $10 ticket on Friday, and that'll get you in the door both days. And you want to get out there and be a part of that. It's going to be happening at the center starting at 4 p.m. on Friday, and then the doors open at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday. So don't miss the Christmas Sampler, and don't miss going and seeing all that they have going on at Corbin. They have changed their hours just slightly. They're open from 10 to 4 Monday through Saturday and 1 to 4 on Sundays now. And they'll cut back their hours, maybe even where they don't have the Sunday hours as we get on into the winter. But right now, they're just reminding you, come by and check out their CBD products. They have all kinds of great products that are directed at helping you with inflammation issues. I cannot say enough about it because I have arthritis. It is a game changer for me. And they also have those salves that are just fabulous. If you have any kind of, have you had some allergy issues, or if you get bit by mosquitoes or chiggers and all those kinds of things, have you ever tried the salves on that? They're wonderful, and for the aches and pains as well. And she and Miss Jane make those right there in the house. Another thing that they make are those handmade cozy bowls that you put your soup in to put in the microwave. You can get those there. They've got aprons, all kinds of fun things that are great gifts. They've got succulents and great house plants that you can get. They're just a great stop for you. Don't forget about them during the cold weather months. They are there and they want to see you. They also want to remind you too that they are the ones that if you are looking to have somebody to come help with Christmas decorations, go and talk to them. But they've already booked up all of their November dates. If you want them to come help you with your Christmas decorations, you got to get in touch with them now. Their number is 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield. When you contact them, always let them know that you turned sent you and thank them for sponsoring One Street Over. And thank you for sponsoring One Street Over. We appreciate it so much. And I tell everybody when I do that, I said, I didn't realize I really liked races. I spent time on racetracks in Nashville doing remotes for radio and stuff. And my children, it was so funny, I was talking about them when we first became a sponsor, and they said, yeah, I remember going to the races one time, Mom, up in Nashville, and you were doing the Macarena out on the racetrack. I don't know what it was, but I would do my little little thing, and then I would leave because it just wasn't my thing. I sat down and watched it. I was so excited. I kept going live. I was like, look at this. Yeah. This is so exciting because it's so much fun. And then we were hungry and we went to your snack bar. It just runs like a cafeteria. I was so impressed with y'all's snack bar and way you feed people and good food.
Ladies work hard at that.
They do,
and we buy good food. We don't. We eat there, and it's we buy 100% Angus burgers and full all beef hot dogs, and we just, like I say, we like to provide a good product for everyone. You know.
And that's what I tell everybody. I said, if you've not been to the races, get to the races, and it's a great ticket price, $40. Still got the $40 ticket.
We still got the $40 ticket. The last race of the year will be a $50 ticket.
Okay.
But we're bringing, like I said, you actually got kind of 2 nights of racing because you got 2 demo derbies there.
Yeah.
But still, even at $50 for a family of 8.
Yeah,
I mean
that's when you say $50, that's 8 people, y'all.
Yeah.
For $40 this Saturday.
$40 this week. 2 adults, 6 children, 6 minor children, and then on the 12th it's $50, which for 2 adults and 6 minor children.
You can't beat that. I mean, great family fun, and your kids would love going trick or treat out of the race cars this Saturday. Be there at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So the gates open at 2.
Good. Yeah.
And 4 o'clock is when they're going to have their trunk or treat out of race cars. How much fun is that? And then the racing will get underway about 5.
Right. And like I say, the children get to get right up close to the drivers, guys that's actually out there doing it. And they'll be the ones on the track handing it out. They wouldn't let nobody else do it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that fun?
Oh, yeah. It's a you know, I guess in the past it's been known as a redneck sport, and it is, and I are. And
I are too.
Yeah, but you know what? Those guys got the biggest hearts.
Yes, they do.
When you get a child involved, man, yeah, we've raised a lot of money for different charities, and when you get a child involved, they're all in.
I love it.
They're all in.
And I can't say enough, too, about following them on Facebook because you do interviews. I've got you pulled up right now. And talk to me a little bit about what, for the racing people who know racing and the different race, you're having is there any specifics you can give me for the race this? Because, I mean, I know because it's like, okay, as I'm reading this, I don't understand. It's like all the you've got the Pro 4s and baby grands. What does that mean?
A baby grand car is a like a 3/4 scale car, like it's 3/4 scale late model, but it uses a motorcycle motor on it.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does. And then the Pro 4 cars, those are a late model style car that uses a 4-cylinder engine.
Okay.
Most of them use like the Ford Mustang, a 2000 or 2300 engine.
Okay.
From back in the 80s.
Well, see, that's a question I had for you because I'm trying to sell my Yukon, by the way, which has like a 6.5 in it, and I've heard those are big racing motors, and I'm just trying to get some money out of that car that's just been a for me. But you say that's not what y'all use. That's more of a drag racing motor.
I think they may use that in drag racing. We use the 5.3 engine. And then we use a standard 350 Chevy engine.
Okay.
The 350 is the standard of the industry, and the 5.3 is something we've been developing for about 4 or 5 years now, and got a few people running them. Main thing is they're a lot more economical to run. They run pump gas, and instead of having a $20,000 racing engine, you got a $4,000 racing engine. They're a very durable engine to start with.
Okay. Well, you know, and as you're talking all this, and we're going to be out of time here in just a minute. I appreciate you so much coming on in though, and I got one more ad to do, but I've just got to pose a question to you. When did you take over the Speedway, and why? Why in the world do you do this? What's the backstory on that?
Well, you know, my business, full-time business, is aluminum racing products, and we make all the race car bodies for tracks across the country.
I did not know that.
And so my brother raced when I was young. That's got me into racing. Bottom line was that the track was in foreclosure, had some bad management situations, and 3 of us friends got together and made a stupid offer and the stupid bank took it, you know.
Oh, funny. That's hysterical. How long ago was that?
That was in 2012.
Okay. I knew it had been, I mean, you're in 10 years now.
10 years.
So have you had a 10-year anniversary? Have you had a big party?
No, we haven't had a party. We just, we're like everybody in this economy, just thankful to be here, you know.
The truth.
But we've been blessed. We've got a lot of new fans, and that's what keeps us going is new fans coming, new fans seeing what we're doing. We do a different type of racing, and we don't have follow the leader racing. We, you know, the last time that somebody won, just like when we go to race this week, the guy that won the last previous race, he starts behind an inversion, and we'll roll a dice, and we'll invert the top 2 to 6 cars, and whoever won the last time, he gets to pass all of them.
Okay.
So we make it to where it's a little exciting.
Okay.
And then we've got our road warriors and road runners, and those guys, that's a breakout class. And it's the funniest thing. They all complain about it, but they all love it, and they'll race 3 and 4 wide. They're absolutely great to watch.
Okay, well, I'm planning on being there for your one on the 12th.
Awesome.
That's on my calendar.
Good.
Because I've been trying to get back out there. I had fun. I had so much fun, but it's on my calendar to be there on the 12th.
It's kind of like organized chaos.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. And I've got a wedding to go to this Saturday, so and I want to bring my grandson to trunk or treat out a race car so bad. But you'll do it next year.
Oh yeah, we do it every year.
But go, guys, go. Put this on your calendar. Get there this weekend and be a part of this. I mean, a $40 ticket gets in 6 kids, 2 adults, and they're going to get to trunk or treat out of 50 race cars at 4 p.m. Be there.
And general admission's only $15.
Yes,
and $12 for seniors, military, and students.
Okay. Well, anything we're missing, and I'll go out with my commercial. But any parting words, my friend? So go and see them.
Just come see us and be safe.
Absolutely. My guest, Jerry Criswell, again, with Veterans Motorplex, cannot say it enough. They're in their last two Saturdays to go out and see this, guys. Get out there. The address is 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Get out there. $40 if you want to take a family of 8 this week. $50, family of 8. Next weekend, gates will open at 2. Going to have the trunk or treat at 4 this weekend, and then racing right after that. You got all the events, all the championship things that are going to be happening over the next 2 weekends. You got to get out there.
Demo Derby's on the 12th.
On the 12th, and I'm planning on being there unless good Lord throws something in my path. I don't think He's going to. But let's talk real quickly about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends that are just awesome in real estate. If you want somebody local to represent you, they're from Cross Plains. They've been there for over 20 years. Cannot say enough about them. Barry has come out. You can stick around. Can you stick around? I got a question for you. So hang out for me for a minute, Jerry. But cannot say enough about what they do to help the community. Barry's been out to help me with my audio video class already because he is an expert when it comes to marketing and making sure people know what they need to know about your property. He was a vice president of a marketing company for many years, a media marketing company in Nashville for 17 years. He brings that expertise to the table to make sure people know your property is available. He's a Zillow certified photographer, licensed and insured drone pilot, does the 360-degree virtuality home tour. We'll get you up on realtor.com. All the things that you need so people know about your property. Rebecca is one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. She's going to cross every T, dot every I. Great friends. If you want to contact them, the number is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com. or buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. When you contact them, tell them you turned Ascension. That's all I got for you today. Tomorrow, Terry Wilson will be here from he is our Veteran Service Officer. Be sure and check in with him tomorrow. He'll be here. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.